Hey guys, it's Skitsu here, and today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. Normally with these speed paints, I just, put some music in the background and just kind of let it go. I had someone recently tell me that that was kind of boring, so I'm going to try out talking. Hooray! Y'all get to hear my awful voice here, so forgive me. I'm not very good at talking. But today I'm actually drawing a D&D character. This is Dahlia. She is my Grave Cleric tiefling that I'm going to be playing in my sister's game. She runs D&D. It's pretty awesome, get to play with family and such. Um, with D&D, it's interesting because I didn't always used to be into D&D. Like, this wasn't something that I would play growing up or even in school. I actually got into Dungeons and Dragons um, after I had graduated high school. Back in 2014 was my first game. I played a mixture of 3.5 and Pathfinder. It was my very first time playing, so I kind of let my dungeon master set up my character for the most part. I played like a half-elf sorcerer woman who grew up like isolated in a tower and just flirted with everything that she saw. It was it was certainly an experience. I'd never really done anything like that before, so yeah, I kind of missed that game. It got too big. We ended up having near the end of that about 10 plus people. I honestly lost track. We had so many people joining the game that I just honestly couldn't play. Like, it would take forever to get through an encounter, so we all kind of just quit. Um, and that was the end of that. And I didn't really touch D&D anymore after that for about 5 years. Uh, and no, it was in 4 years because I played in 2018. Um, that's when 5e actually had recently come out. I want to say I don't know my D&D history. Please don't kill me for that. um, I had some coworkers that were wanting to play Dungeons and Dragons. It's like, oh, I vaguely know what that is. I want to play. Like, that sounds like so much fun. And I set up myself this pirate drow. He was, oh man, he was nuts. Like, he was just also a flirt. I have a problem. I really like making flirty characters. They're so much fun to roleplay, and just the reactions that you get out of people is it's great. This really helped me like come out of my shell D&D wise, like because before it was just, oh, I want to do this and that. I roll for it. Yay, I succeed. And this drow, he was really heavy on just how he interacted with the party, and it was a lot of fun, honestly. Shortly after that game began, probably about 3, 4 months, I want to say. That's actually when I got into podcasts. There was this podcast, The Adventure Zone, that I started listening to because my sister was listening to it and wanted someone to talk about it with. I ended up, picking it up and just listening to it when I could, and I finished the whole thing in the matter of a few weeks. It was not a great time for, my sleep and such, but it was a ride. I honestly didn't even know that this was something social that people could just, do and talk about. And I finished the Adventure Zone and I was like, oh man, I want more. So I got into Critical Role. Critical Role, if you don't know, is another Dungeons and Dragons podcast, live stream. I'm not sure what to call it, but it's a great show with a bunch of voice actors that just sit around a table and play Dungeons and Dragons. These two podcasts really kind of solidified the fact that I love D&D. These guys they were so fun and energetic, and just they really brought about what D&D means to me. And it's just kind of great to be able to get together, with your friends and or strangers. Some people play with strangers, and just sit down and be absolute nerds and do the craziest things. unfortunately, that game that I was playing when I was listening to Critical Role, I stopped playing it. And there was just, it got to be too many people again. I think we got up to 8 on that one. I honestly, if it takes too long, we were spending like 5-6 hours trying to get through a game, and I just couldn't do it. I was just so tired by the end that I was just not having fun anymore. And then I picked up playing what this character is from, the one that I'm drawing. This one is, Dahlia. I think I mentioned that. Honestly, I forgot where I was talking about. This is a part of my siblings' campaign. She runs this really, really cool game, and currently I'm actually playing a rogue in that one. But since I was playing a rogue drow in the last game that I played, I kind of, talked to her as like, hey, can we just like kill my character? I'm kind of tired of playing rogues, so we're gonna do that, and I'm gonna bring in this girl, Dahlia. So she worships Melora. If you don't know who that is, it's the goddess of the wilderness and the sea. She is a grave cleric. Honestly, just because their spells are so cool. I love the idea of grave cleric. This was mostly inspired by Caduceus, and the way that Taliesin Jaffe plays Caduceus is just so interesting to me. Like, I never would have played a cleric if I hadn't seen the way that these guys play clerics. It's just so great. I love it so much. But with Dahlia here, she's got kind of an interesting backstory, because I didn't really go off of the book for it. But those are more like suggestions from what my DM has told me. You don't have to go buy the book for your backstory. Dahlia was an orphan. She was raised in this small little village by her head priest, and she had shown a real knack for healing, so he'd actually shipped her off to the capital to learn more about Melora and healing magic, and just to kind of come into the world on her own. And her adventure starts when she discovers that her village has disappeared. The letters have stopped coming, and she asked around, and it's just vanished off the map. So she's going to join this party in searches of trying to find her village here. Not sure how that's gonna go. It's I'm honestly really nervous. Like, bringing in a new character to a campaign you've already been playing is kind of nerve-wracking. Even though, like, I know who I'm playing with, I know their characters, but I'm bringing in a very different vibe from what I was previously playing. The previous rogue that I was playing, he was a dwarf, and he was super serious and just, kind of a downer. Not much other way I can really describe him. And I was having a hard time, like, getting into character and interacting with other people because he was just so down. He was so, like, I don't do well with serious. I like fun and happy and upbeat, and I like to joke around and be kind of silly, which is why I chose Dahlia. She's really, really upbeat. She's really, really sweet and kind of naive in a way. In this world, there are places where the Feywild is actually colliding with the real world. So you walk in through the forest, and it's suddenly the Feywilds. Dahlia here has a serious love for Feywild flowers, so she'll just pick them at random. And my DMs let me know that some of these flowers are gonna have not so happy effects, and I am ready for it. I'm so excited to see what's gonna happen. I honestly had a really hard time figuring out how I wanted Dahlia to look after I decided, I want to play a tiefling, and I didn't really want her to be typical, but I also didn't want her to be so outlandish that it's like a pink tiefling, Like, it's fine if you play a pink tiefling, but I kind of wanted something more muted, a little bit more like earthy tones, while still being kind of bright and happy. I think the way that I pictured her here kind of captures her. looking at it now, like as I'm drawing it, there's a couple of mistakes I see and a couple of colors that I would probably change. But oh well, I already finished it. I'm not going back now. Nope. um, yeah. I just, oh, she's so cute. I love her face. I love her hair. I actually did not intend for her hair to be that way. That was kind of like a design mishap. Originally, it was going to be one long, big braid. And then my siblings, we were all talking, and my sister drew her. And when she drew her with like tons of tiny little braids. And it's like, oh my gosh, that looks so much cuter. Like, then she can like weave the flowers into her hair. And I'm rambling at this point. I'm so sorry. I've never done this before. Can you tell? I can tell. It's fine. Everything's fine. But yeah, I'm really happy how she turned out, at the very least, even with all the mistakes here. I was trying out like a lot of new techniques and trying to color and like all these proportions. This is all very, very new to me. I know it doesn't look a lot different than my usual art, but I'm honestly been doing like a lot of study and trying to figure out how to draw again. Because I'm self-taught, I never really got that, you know, in classroom professors sitting you down and doing like the full anatomy drawing. Like, I think I took like a shading class in high school. That was pretty much it. We didn't even do live action drawing. So yeah, mostly what I've been learning is from Babs Tar and ABD Illustrates on YouTube. They've been super helpful trying to figure out like my new style and how things should look. And yeah. In any case, I did want to thank you for sticking out through this video if you stayed for the whole thing. It's a bit of a long one. I do apologize for that. And I really hope that you enjoyed Dahlia. Please let me know if you want me to do more. Y'all have a great night. Bye!